Still a lot of Dota here today, but we have one really good game left here, and it is Secret taking on Aurora. Secret kind of need a game here if they want to give themselves a good opportunity to get to that group stage phase 2. That being said, Aurora, a win here will guarantee them through to the next stage. So very important for both teams. We're going to see a nice smoke wraparound, similar to what we saw last game from Secret, actually, right? Like this same kind of deep smoke wraparound where they ended up finding the SD.
Yeah, maybe hoping to find a very low health Medusa kill, but thanks to the ward, thanks to the ward that the Nature's placed, they already know that Storm came up here to ward. This might give an idea back to Secret that there is stuff here. Knowing Storm is there, I wonder if they're going to try to take this fight, actually. I feel like they suspect that Secret's over here, especially because you have that ward bottom, so you know they're not down there.
Yeah, and you don't really want to fight on Aurora. Like, yes, Keeper of the Light is pretty decent, but you have Medusa, arguably one of the worst level 1 heroes in Dota, and you also have a Nature's Prophet who went teleport. So you don't really have a lot that you can offer in the team fight. So I like the decision. Just head to your lanes. You got a D-ward. Be happy with that start and play it normal. I look at Jabs and Q, though. They're ready to kill the creep wave. You know, at least kill the range creep, right? Actually, they may just...
looks like they're throwing some auto attacks. Oh, Nature's is here, too. It's a party. No, he's going to leave. Don't take my XP. Get out of here. I report
you. Get it?
Oh, he still got some, I think.
Or
maybe that's from the D-ward earlier. That might be from the D-ward. I'm not sure.
No, it's 37 each, so yeah. I mean, the XP range got slightly buffed, didn't it, recently? I feel like
I think it just became easier to see.
Or it was
maybe you're right.
I don't remember.
I think they were all there for the D-ward, too. But either way, between that and the D-ward, we might see some like level 2 timings hit first. These aren't exactly the most classic heroes to be that strong at level 2, so I don't think they'll actually do anything with that. See some creep dragging shenanigans already down here in that bottom lane.
Yeah, Puppy, really good attempt here. I mean, if Jabs actually hit the... Yeah, you can see it. Q's pinging like, yo, get that medium camp, because that would actually like wipe the creep wave away. And there it is. Oh, well, wait a minute. What are they doing?
No, they don't. They only aggro to the pole camps, but you can get more damage from like the medium camp. The medium camps will fight it, just the lane creeps won't fight back.
Okay. Kind of a weird interaction there. Didn't know that. Then again, how often are you dragging across your jungle, you know? So
in pub games, never. But the pros, they've run into it a little bit.
And the annoyance of the Lion begins. The Earth Spike into Mana Drain. The spam will never end. That being said, you got to be careful. You have you have the Nature's Prophet in this lane, has his Blood Grenade at the ready. He's looking for any opportunity to join a lane, right? Whether it be mid for the Storm Spirit, which is a possibility because of Keeper of the Light, or if that is bottom lane here with the Timber Saw and the Tiny.
Yeah, Corden already aware of that. I think everyone got their Quelling Blades. Supports don't. They're going to trust their cores to do it for them. You can probably do that in a pro team. In your pubs, you got to get your own. Can only depend on yourself.
Yeah. So far, pretty even lanes. Like CS-wise, there's almost no difference. Jabs does have his lane in a pretty good spot here, which is kind of a result of how the lane started, right, with those blocks and of course the dragging from Q as well. So I think they're pretty happy with where they're at. And getting those early levels on the Timber Saw is fantastic. Allows you to have a little bit more burst damage to play around. You could also opt for that reactive armor if you really want it. That being said, Corden needs to be careful. Again, the Nature's Prophet could show up and he's TPing right to the rune. They know he's just going to deny that away. Puppy has to chop through one of the trees. He will make it, but again, it's just Lornov and Corden just duking it out, and it's only a matter of time. He gets it. First blood for the Keeper of the Light. That is massive. Top lane, they're looking for 23, though. There's going to be the mana drain, but Ollie TP's right back. They do not want to let that happen.
And this is a little bit more what we expected last time we saw Nature's Prophet in an earlier series, which is that the first couple levels, you know, maybe a bit of a struggle, but from there you out harass the enemy with Illuminate, and now you've got this Nature's to show up. Whereas prior to level 6, usually it's hard to get solo kills as Coddle, but with a little bit of help, let's see, gets that first blood. That'll speed up his timings a lot. He's already got that earned boots.
That's huge, actually. We saw the Coddle in our game earlier struggled to get that earn out, and as a result, like, wasn't able to make that rotations early on. Bottom lane, we see a little bit of fighting out here. The Muerta still does a lot of damage, and she is farming exceptionally well, but you do still need to be very careful. The IO is absolutely susceptible to just like an Avatos as soon as he gets level 3 here. And then a quick rotation for the Nature's Prophet, but he's just kind of fighting it out in this top lane. I don't really blame him. He's having a great time here into the Lion. Got himself a casual bracer. And Eki actually in some trouble. He has no stun for a moment. The damage is enough. They get the kill. Boom. Turning around, trying to bring down the Nature's Prophet himself, but he's just going to TP out. See ya.
Courier delivery service. Do you need anything, 23? I'll teleport back.
Yeah, I mean, he's thinking where he wants to TP. He could go mid. They will just find Puppy bottom. And there's the Avatos. Does he have the tether? It's so close, but he won't make it. He's just going to TP back top. And like you said, courier delivery service. He's got a band here for the Medusa. Great start to the game here for Aurora, up to 3-0.
We'll say Storm doing better than expected, all things considered. He got killed, but still at the top in terms of last hits. A little bit behind because, of course, he got killed. Though. But
he's not yet level 6, and Q is here. This is going to be so much magic damage. They got him. I mean, that is all a result of that first kill, right?
Yeah, that level difference making all the difference there. Once he's 6, he pretty much won't die to the Keeper of the Light.
Well, he just goes up here to clear this hard camp, realizes Lion just stacked it for him. He's like, oh, cool, thank you.
Thanks, Lion. It's really cool of you.
Bottom lane's an arcane rune, so that is even better. Drop a little bit of mana into his Tiny, says thank you for ganking, sir. All right, Corden should hit 6 here on this mid lane, so things are gonna be a little bit better for him, of course. Not like just gonna get popped by this Coddle, who is level 7 now, so 4 points in this Illuminate is very scary. And he is... So are those Boots of Travel or Vessel? Okay, no, he's close. He's just gonna go for the Vessel right away. I like this.
Dude, Nature's Prophet wants to try to steal the Wisdom rune coming up here. It's really tough into a Lion. I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't try. He might scan it to see if it's worth going.
Yeah, he's just gonna stack. This is just the way Aurora have been playing, right? Like you said, just greedy enough. They're always stacking. As Tiny
when they're
stack
ganking.
Their triangle as well. Yeah, true. Except when they're ganking, they're looking for Boom, who currently on level 4, great stun out there, and he can just TP home, right? This was one of the This is one of the problems with their draft, right? They don't have a lot of stun. Well, really, or any stun outside of the Tiny.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of the game plan's a little awkward. When you do get to the part where you just stand behind Medusa, it's sort of okay that you don't have the actual initiation. But man, he tried to dodge it. Still took half his health from the very edge of it. Yeah, the plays leading up to that point, though, might be tough. Fortunately, they are in the lead. That usually makes it easier to cover the flaws of the draft when you simply are winning. But Secret's not out of this. Secret has the tools to actually catch people between Lion, Storm, Doom, and then the IO rotation. So as we start seeing those levels come into play, I think that'll be Secret's game plan.
Huge rune there for Storm Spirit, actually. This illusion can instantly dispel that solar bind if he gets into a rough situation. Obviously, he might prefer something like a regen or an arcane, but the arcane's already removed from the pool, so illusion's not bad. Jab's clearing up some ancient stacks here that were made from for him earlier, so we're starting to see Aurora kind of just pick, again, just kind of farm towards their next set of items. Lorinov has finished up this Spirit Vessel, so for him, We'll probably see him get active here fairly soon.
Do you think they were made for him? This is a question we can ask him if they win here and we get to do an interview.
I think
Do you think they have a clear plan on like, hey, the ancients are his, these are yours? Or is it, these are stacked, first to get there, get some.
First come, first serve. I call dibs type of thing.
Yeah.
Medusa top lane. There's the Doom that comes out, and the mana drain getting to work. Q is here as well as the reload in as well. So Lorna's got to do some heavy damage here on this Coddle, and it's kind of paying off. The Medusa's just still alive. The Vessel just chewing through this Doom. Puppey tries to save, but that means you left Chrysalis. They're going to try and just TP out, and he will make it, but Eki not going to be as lucky.
So that is another thing why Medusa is good versus Doom. You can't heal, but you can gain mana. And Medusa is all about mana. So Arcane Boots, Arcane Ring. She has a Mango. I'm pretty sure someone lotused her. I'm not sure. But no, all her mana jumped up. Oh, Coddle, yeah. So it looked like she should die. That was a really good gank. And I think any other carry would have died there. But not the Medusa, who lives via mana.
Yeah. And it's a sick rotation bottom, right? They bring these extra heroes. Eki TP's in here like, uh-oh, maybe I don't want to be here. They actually just barely don't see him as they will take the tier 1 tower. Why did... Oh, it was denied a creep. I was like, why did it look like it had a denied symbol on it? But he hit a creep. Okay, so 6-0, 3K gold lead here at the 10-minute mark for Aurora as they are just farming to their heart's content. This Keeper of the Light is really strong, and he's gonna get this Orchid very quickly. Like sometimes you go the Dagon, which we saw earlier, which was fantastic, but you're against a Storm Spirit, you're against an IO. This is a really good Orchid game.
Yeah, opting to go straight for the Orchid as well rather than the Boots of Travel we frequently see on these Coddles. Kind of recognizing I can show up to a lot of ganks, but if it's just a Storm Zip away, like what's the point? So he's gonna opt to take the item that will actually allow them to get kills when he shows up.
Yeah. Corden is definitely recovering better than I maybe would have expected out of how rough the lane was, right? Having those 2 deaths. But he's level 9. He's like neck and neck there with the Keeper of the Light. Just about a half level behind. Net worth wise is a different story, but once he has his Witchblade, we might see him be able to find some kills, especially on heroes like Nature's Prophet. Which I was actually wondering if Nature's Prophet was going to go for a Orchid himself, but it looks like he's got a Aghanim Scepter queued up at the moment. So
yeah, I think they are going to have to try for these type of pickoffs, Storm or Doom, starting with things with the IO relocate. They just tried on the Medusa. Unfortunately, maybe not the best target. It was pretty close, actually. If they had killed her, or if Aurora had been a little slower to rotate, it wouldn't have worked out for them. So maybe not a bad attempt, but I think they have to keep trying. You can't be dissuaded from that. That is the way you recover with these heroes.
It is one of those things where we talked about the Medusa versus Muerta matchup a lot in the draft, where it's like Medusa doesn't care too much about like the Pierce the Veil, stuff like that, but her team definitely does, right? If Chrysalis is allowed to just stand there and put out damage, he will kill almost anybody else. So we'll see how that ends up going. Obviously, as Io, a fantastic partner to this hero, he is farming decently well, but because they're always kind of holding hands, you're going to fall behind in experience.
I like this, that Nature's is immediately going for the Aghanims. You can globally root people that way. So if you happen to see some of these heroes trying to like teleport around, especially this Io, Storm.
This is a decent smoke here, but finding Q. Oh, what a calling comes out from the Muerta there. That would have been a very scary Avatos out. And now Chrysalis, Puppey, Corden, they all should be able to escape here as that reload is going to expire. Dude, he was like almost mid-animation for that avalanche, which would have probably spelled disaster for that Storm Spirit, so.
Yeah, great silence. The return kill for Keeper, though, does mean that his Orchid is just about to finish here. There it is.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that is very fast.
So 13 minutes Spirit Vessel Orchid.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good timing. Well, you'll have to be aware of that. I think they might have seen him building up parts of it, but we might see a smoke here fairly soon. Yeah, I see Tiny just swaps it into his backpack. He's going to meet up with Lorinov. No Spirit Form quite yet. Oh my god, he does have Blink. What? Dude, how does Q always have these ridiculous Blink timings?
Because the man's stacking. He's stacking everywhere.
Eki, he walks into Medusa. He's going to be a little bit sad here as Ollie comes through, but they get the big kill that they wanted, of course. It's Q finding the Avatos there onto the Storm Spirit at the bottom rune, and Lorinov is not done. He just runs across the map with that bonus move speed, gets himself a kill onto the Lion as well.
This is really nice from Aurora. Who ended up dying earlier?
Storm. It was like
no,
Q and Jabs. Yeah.
Who's died on Aurora? Who's the one person? Q.
Oh yeah, it's just Tiny, right? Yeah, right before the blink.
This team's giving a hard time. Come on, no one else has died. What are you doing?
Dude, imagine having 100% of your team's deaths.
That's okay, as long as it's not his course. He's a support player. He knows his part. I'm gonna look for the Doom here, but Doom's over on the left side. It's a little scary to just run across there, even though they are 5k ahead right now.
I mean, they have a really good ward placed here as well. Not one that's like typically dewarded this early, because you would guess it's on the high ground and the sentry won't reach there. So that deep ward into the triangle will give Aurora a lot of information to play with. As 23 should have no problem cleaning up the tier 1 tower in the top side. So no more tier 1 towers for Secret. This is only 15 minutes into the game with a Medusa lineup, and they are feeling so confident. Like, I don't know how you actually find 23 outside of him being in a really bad position.
It's gonna come down to this Muerta. She has been farming. She's behind the other cores, mainly due to the kills that Aurora has been picking up in the towers. But she herself, like, would usually be decently farmed for this stage of the game. So if they can find a good fight, especially with like Pierce the Veil, the boost from the IO, I think Muerta can output the damage. Maybe not against this Medusa is like farming really well, but against the other heroes, they could pick up some kills. They just need to find that. And ever since that very first attempt, I don't really feel like we've seen Secret manage to make a play like that.
Man, this smoke, they're searching everywhere for these heroes. I think they're pinging them out now. They're like, all right, where else could they be, guys? Let's try and wrap around. Meanwhile, on the other side of the jungle, Eki drops a ward, gets seen. They do find Puppy and Chrysalis finally, and Jabs needs to be a little bit careful. Q does not connect on the avalanche, but will be able to cancel that TP out there with that toss. And oh boy, they finally get rewarded for their patience.
All right, they do not have the damage. I am not sure. No, that fight was a little different.
He gets the Orchid. They have the finger as well, but can he get out? They're trying. He's going to be able to get the heal at the last second with the Illuminate. Gordon's not done. Does manage to finish him off. The Doom in as well. Looking for Jabs on the Timbersaw. 23 trying to help out. And with Jabs, well, they're kind of blocked off for the moment, but with Jabs coming off the Doom there, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, it was such a short Doom. He's got the Kaya Sange already.
Yep. And it's still only level 1 Doom. It'll get a little bit better at level 2, but yeah, it's what, 9-second duration at this point.
He's even buying a Yule, so he can Yules himself. Waste more of that Doom time.
We've been seeing a lot of Timbersaws go for a like Wind Waker. They go for 23. They know he doesn't have an ult. Great silence out from Chrysalis. Q looking for an opening. He's got the Avatos available off the mark there with the dead shot, as Chrysalis will commit the Pierce the Veil, and Q, he's pinging like, could we go in? All right, they'll back away. 23 will grab a haste rune. He's all right.
They're pretty close to the Aghanims on Natures. I think it wouldn't be bad to wait for that.
It's a lot of damage, dude. Plus the global root like you were talking about, but I'm assuming he'll go the damage talent at 10 as well if he's grabbing the Ags. Cute. Toss back. Avalanche. Solar bind out from Lorinov. And he's forced the BKB right away. So boom, not how you want to spend that first BKB, but at least he doesn't die.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are
Does mean Aurora should feel pretty comfortable pushing into this tower if they still want to keep going. Looks like they don't want to wait for the creep, so they're just going to farm really aggressively. They've been doing a great job of this. Just stealing farm from the enemy team.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They saw this ward get placed. They know someone's back here. Like, it's underneath the Watcher and a random sentry, so they have a feeling that there is a lion in his jungle, and Jabs will find him. As Nature's Prophet's going to try and TP in as well. Eki might be in a little bit of a tough situation here, let's say. So, going to go for the mana drain, and it will eventually just die to the right clicks.
Tower is under attack.
Got to storm out alive.
Value.
Unfortunately, that ward will die. Another sentry will go down, and it will drop now. That's really tough. In this kind of situation, you really need your vision to survive, so you can find some pickoffs to return.
They've got Q. 23 Savage there with the Stone Gaze. Will get him to safety, but we see this is the moment, right, where it's like this Muerta does a lot of damage if she's allowed to kind of stand there and attack.
Unfortunately, she doesn't pick up too many kills quite yet. Hopefully that'll... They need to find some, because some of her late game scaling is the fact that the shard is now retroactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get a huge jump in damage, but not if you have no kills, because it's 3 to 13.
It's not a good sign. Jab's clearing some more ancient stacks that somehow got created during all this chaos. So he's having a fantastic time when the Timbersaw has his blink. The Kaya Sange done. After this, he had the Yules queued up, so it looks like he opted to go back for the blink, play a little bit more aggressive with his Tiny. I can understand this, actually. I'm okay with this. They just need people to go in. Is that a Whisper of the Dread as well? Okay. Yeah, that's balanced. That's good.
On Timber?
Yeah, no. Casual 22% pure damage spell.
Eki's about to die.
Eki's gonna, meet death very quickly there.
Did not get to press any buttons. Looking for more an aggressive TP, but did not quite connect with Corden.
Oh,
Should
he's
be
looking
good.
for
Well, actually, I think Lornoff saw him.
Yeah, he's got plenty of cast range as well, but Corden also sees him. He gets the Orchid. He's going to be able to force a TP, but guess what? Q is close enough, and Jabs will come in to secure the kill. Yeah, that's a scary one.
Really nice from Aurora. They are playing so much of the map, but they're so fast. It's got like a Keeper of the Light. They got the Global. They got a Timbersaw running around.
Oh, they're not done, dude.
Yeah, see, they're still going. So it's like, this is usually when you're losing and the team that's winning, like Aurora, and they're trying to take a tower, you're like, okay, quickly go split out top, split out mid, like we'll try to catch up and farm. But Secret is trying to do that, and Aurora, they have so many greedy farmers, they finish farming like what they can, and they're like, okay, it's time to go fight. Let's go run, chase them top. Okay, farm everything here. Okay, go chase them bottom. Let's go. Like, they're actually holding on to the entire map, which is usually really difficult to do.
Yeah, and Ollie in that time finishes up his Aghanim Scepter for the Nature's Prophet. You're going to see the Force Staff come out on the Muerta, which is quite helpful, obviously, to try and reposition in the fights, because she is one of the things that balances Muerta carry is the fact that she is really slow, and it's very hard to stay on top of heroes. Io helps a little bit with the tether, of course, but Force Staff absolutely essential on this hero, and that will be the pike to complete it.
One thing that doesn't balance Muerta is Grove Bow. This is absolutely the best tier 2 neutral she could get. She probably won't even change it. Like, even up to tier 4, she may not change this item depending on her options.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the quiver, you probably go the quiver. But yeah, I don't think there's even a tier 3 item that you want besides that. And then you would wait until maybe Mage Slayer. If you get Mage Slayer. If you get lucky for the Mage Slayer.
First Roche, completely uncontested for Aurora. I do not know how you kill Medusa twice. So Aurora is going to start doing what we saw them do last time. Send in 23. Hey, go hit that building, buddy. We'll all stand behind you. Maybe not Jabs. Jabs might be up there doing some, causing some chaos. But everyone else just going to wait behind Medusa. And what will Secret do about that? I do not have an answer for you.
Radiant's bottom
I'm like trying to think through it, like what really is their option. I mean, Eki having the shard, it's very annoying on the high ground when Lion can just sit so far back in mana drain without being threatened, right? Like you can't really stop him from doing that outside of like an Avatos back. But if he's already mana draining, you don't have that option, right? So that is a little bit annoying. It can help deal with the Medusa illusions,
under attack.
but yeah, I don't even know if they want to end the game on this first Aegis, but we'll see. They probably just start pushing lanes. 23 Savage will be able to get bottom here. This will give them a second fortification to play around, but top lane, we're seeing TPs come through in numbers. They see these heroes on the backside, and Storm goes in, has the BKB. They get the huge opening they're looking for. 23 Savage with the Stone Gaze, trying to finish off Puppies. He jumps through these trees. He's down to a sliver of HP. He gets the kill. Eki will go down as well. Muerta is online. Corden able to TP home. He does manage to survive the Soul Bind. Not enough.
That's pretty good for Secret. They killed Timbersaw. I mean, we saw the damage from Muerta come in there. They deleted those two heroes. That zip was so clutch. I don't know if it was luck or what, but just dodged the avalanche. Let them get the BKB off. I lost 2 supports, but that's fine. They needed a kill like that. I mean, they're still not in the clear or anything, but that's definitely going to help.
Yeah, I mean, Muerta did 1,800 damage to the Timbersaw in like a second and a half, right? Like that is the scary thing about this Muerta. The spell amp you get from the Isle, you mentioned earlier, being fantastic, but all these kills eventually add up to that shard, which will end up being kind of scary if you get there.
Yeah, okay. If Io gets the shard later, she'll also have the spell Lifesteal on Muerta. That could be pretty good for her.
Oh,
She got her
true.
Crystallis. Her damage is high. So as we go into these fights, there's going to be a little bit of a question about this Muerta. If she's allowed to attack, she might make the difference, because they don't have a lot of lockdown on Aurora. It's one of the weaknesses we identified earlier.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
they're gonna need to catch the IO and kill Puppy like as the fight starts. That will definitely hamstring this Muerta quite a bit in the fight, but once you've done that, you still have to kill the Muerta. So we'll see what they can come up with. Chances are we'll be seeing some
Radiant's top
items to deal with that. Timbersaw has an Ags queued up. The reactive armor shield is quite nice, but Muerta might be able to damage through that, so we'll have to see. As the high ground gonna start getting knocked at here as 23
bottom tower is under attack.
has an Aghanim Scepter completed himself. I mean, that is one way to deal with the Muerta, right? You just Stone Gazer and spam the Mystic Snake.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Io's always going to be next to someone, so pretty easy multi-bounces and going to steal a lot of mana. Or not steal, but gain mana. Man, you remember those days? Having all your mana stolen by a Medusa in the laning stage? Tons of fun. Awesome.
Very cool mechanic. Medusa just takes the tower, uncontested. As we're going to see on the other side of the map, Muerta is finishing off the tier 2. So they're getting some objectives for secrets, and they might just try and go high ground themselves, but
Radiant's top tower
nah, they will back. Lion is being a little bit obnoxious, just cutting waves.
is under attack.
Gonna find an ancient stack on Crystallis over here.
Radiant structure
I think they're waiting for
Fortress?
this Daedalus. He's he just
they
got the
reload
money
for
stealing
this.
that stack.
They reload for this. They were like Q's fishing for Lion, Lion's fishing for Q, and they call the reload. And they committed fortification for this. So this means 23 can just go up onto the high ground and try and finish this lane of barracks before that backdoor protection kicks in, and they managed to do so. Just barely, too. That backdoor protection hit like the second later.
Crystallis did commit to the Daedalus with some lucky crits from the Muerta. Could win them the fight. I've seen it happen in a lot of my pubs.
Dire's
I
bottom
think
tower
it
is under
think it
attack.
carries over to the pro scene.
I like that as our observer highlights. The Nemesis Curse, a fantastic item for a hero like Muerta. As mid lane, they will go ahead and just quickly punish Ollie. A nice zip in from Corden. And this guy's worth some money, man. That is a lot of gold. Almost 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it helps when your team is up 10k.
Yeah.
It's pretty rich.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's 28 minutes in. They're still doing stacks.
Are they really? Yeah. Wow.
Dire's middle tower
No
is
Nature's
under
Prophet means you maybe are a little bit hesitant to take the fight. We will have to see, but I think for now, if
I kind of
Secret
don't think
wanna
they
commit-
should.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Oh, well, I mean, when you hit a really good little Mystic Snake like that, gotta be careful. And in comes Jabs on the Timbersaw. Boom comes in as well. He's looking for his Doom target. Jabs just getting evaporated. And there it is. The Doom's gonna finish him off.
Denied.
No problem at all. The rest of the team escapes. Boom will TP to safety. This Timbersaw is not as tanky as you think.
So the reason I didn't want them to fight there is that this is just a tier 2 tower. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world. But the fact that they took top means that this lane will always push in. So it should be, in theory, easier for Aurora to set up and patiently wait for a fight that is favorable to them. By trying to fight this, especially while Nature's was just at the edge of teleporting, it's a little easier for Secret to find a fight they want, like what we just witnessed.
I mean, you could see right there in that engagement, right? They hit the Mystic Snake and they thought about maybe just trying to dive onto the Muerta. I think if you're going to make that call, you have to do it immediately, right? You have to follow it up with like the Stone Gaze. Tiny has to go and get the Avatar, so she can't just turn around with the Pierce the Veil and kill everyone. But she was able to attack for just about a second and dropped 2,200 damage into the Timbersaw. So even though he had the reactive armor going, it just didn't matter.
Yeah, he actually has no magic resistance either, besides just what intelligence gives him. So has a cloak queued up. I think that'll greatly reduce Muerta's damage output, and he'll probably upgrade into something. I feel like someone needs a pipe on this team.
scanning.
Dude, they have all their tier 3 tokens available and they haven't picked them up. They're gonna find Eki here. A great avalanche and a toss out from Q. Nice one. Yeah, it's kind of funny now. If you try to mana drain the Medusa, she has the shard, so it's gonna send the cold-blooded back, but I don't think that pierces spell immunity, so
Radiant's middle tower
she will at least like
you know,
get
I'm
some
not
of
sure.
her mana as a result.
Yeah, that's
But-
cool.
There's no fort for this. Like, we saw them already commit the fortification top. No Lion for 20 seconds, which is pretty scary. Storm's gonna go in. He gets his Vortex. A nice pickoff onto the Tiny. Potentially, he's got him. Gordon, though, falling low. They got him really close to falling down, but he's managed to zip away. Oh, the Storm! Does it get him the Spirit Vessel down to 30 HP? He will live. Ollie almost snipes him with the Wrath of Nature.
Muerta got nothing out of her Pierce the Veil. She got stone gazed or snaked one of them, and then the next one hit after that. Just the entire duration wasted.
She didn't BKB at least, but yeah, that always feels really rough when you commit Pierce the Veil and you don't get to attack anything. You're kind of like, eh.
It's the
That
really
was the-
tricky part of playing this hero, which is why you'll see Blink Daggers bought quite frequently, so that you can put yourself in the middle of the enemy team and get everything you possibly can during the 8 seconds of Pierce the Veil.
Yeah, it feels bad buying a Blink Dagger on Muerta when you're playing with an IO though, right? Like,
Yeah.
you either you blink away and then suddenly you don't have the IO to tether follow you, or you put your IO in a pretty rough spot. Nice little D ward there from the Lion. I'm a little bit surprised that they aren't in a position to contest this vision that they had, but
Damage amp on Muerta, one of the best heroes for it.
oh boy. Yeah, that is very scary actually for a Muerta.
I think they should smoke on the other three and look. BKB's up in 4. I guess they kind of have to deal with top lane though.
Yeah, dude, that's in their base. They do see the Muerta's amplify damage rune right now though, so she does walk through a ward, so they kind of know what's going on. Aurora are in a pretty good position right now on the map to try and dodge something out.
And that's what I meant about that earlier fight too. Because top lane's always pushing in, you see these heroes here, so now you know like, okay, we can kind of look for something. Granted, it's Io with the relocate, so in this case maybe not quite, but
They're just gonna walk right in here on Secret and see what they can find. Although you need to start scouting with these treants, buddy. You're in a pretty rough spot right now. They see a ward that's going to reveal the Nature's Prophet. They will just instantly zip on in, try to bring him down. He does go ahead and get that Curse of the Old Growth off, which does give him some vision. A little bit of damage here onto Boom. Able to get away, but here comes Chrysalis. It's his turn. Hasn't popped the Pierce the Veil yet as Medusa gets the Stone Gaze off. Puppy's got to run. Corden, under the cover of his BKB, will survive. As the reload will end, it will send them back. Lion will TP to safety. It's a quick pick onto the Nature's Prophet and a clean disengage. Wait a minute, they're back mid.
It's under attack.
Ooh. Don't get bashed, Lornoff.
Jabs is here. They're looking for Puppy. They got him, and now Chrysalis pops his BKB, pops the Pierce the Veil, takes down Q, and he's going to TP home. At least a return kill for him.
All right, cool call by Secret, recognizing we got a kill, we got out, but actually we're about to lose Roshan, so we need to try to get something else. So they go mid. Aurora chooses to fight it, and I think that makes sense because I think that particular Roche fight, they probably just feel like they got a little unlucky with the initiation, but if it's a more standard Roche fight, they probably feel like decently in the lead.
You also just like can't let Muerta hit your high ground, right? Like this hero will make your life pretty miserable.
Yeah, I wonder if they could have finished it first though. Like what would they have traded? Tier 3, but you have Fortify?
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
But maybe you don't want to be forced into that. Tough call. Lornoff was TPing back for that. Almost got bashed by Roche. Or there's a chance. You never know if it's going to hit or not.
Radiant are scanning.
Nice smoke out here, Corden and Eki looking for their opening. He had a Aghanim Scepter queued up for a moment, and honestly, he's had some really cool zips where if you had an Ags, things would have been very different in these fights, but he's now queued up the Parasma. So wants to just have a little bit more damage output. Honestly, he can probably kill any of these supports that he finds, but they're picking up some BKBs pretty quick here.
It's going to make your Muerta even stronger too.
Yeah. This Roche is not that fast. It's taking him a minute. Set up how they are, though. Looks like Secret do not want to contest this, so they will get this Roche on Dire side, which means Cheese as well. So
Maybe they wanted it to be Cheese.
Jabs. Yeah, I think they did.
Maybe that's why they teleported to defend instead.
Guess what? They see the heroes back, and this means Corden as well as Eki, they want to find their opening, and it's going to be Q on the Tiny. He's going to do his best to try and get to safety. 4 stats for a moment. Blink still on cooldown thanks to this Storm Spirit. Wrath of Nature. He's forced to BKB. Okay. So you do manage to take down the Tiny. A nice kill, but you force BKB and reload, which bottom lane, wait a minute. This IO is not in a good spot. So
don't bring Chrysalis.
Yeah, it's like you do not want to bring your boy back into this one. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 across the map instead.
I think they can keep going. BKB on Storm is a big part of him being able to play this game. I think they could try to push down a lane. Gonna grab Tormentor first. And
recall.
let's see. Do they just start running it down? Mid is open.
I wonder, like, if you're Aurora, I feel like you're still actually a little bit scared of this Muerta, right? Committing onto the high ground against this hero is a little bit scary. So what are you kind of waiting for?
It's definitely scary. I don't know if they really benefit from trying to wait to find pickoffs off the map, though, because Secret is much better with their draft to find these pickoffs. You only have the Tiny, and you essentially have to kill whoever that target is in that time. Otherwise, there's like the zip away, the relocate saves, all sorts of stuff. I guess there's a Hex on Timbersaw queued up. Hex on Coddle too.
Yeah. He's got Octarine now as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But pretty much 100% uptime on his ult, it feels like, with Octarine. It's not
You are
actually
just
100%,
farming.
but I know it's close. yeah, maybe just going to end up being a farming Aegis for the moment, as he's going to backpack his mana boots here on 23 and slot in his Daedalus.
I guess we're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, I guess
They're
it's
pretty
just
scattered.
farming. I mean, why not? If you feel like you can take the late game and you've got this Medusa that you're confident enough in, it might not be bad. I do worry Storm Spirit is a little bit deceiving in terms of his damage output, especially once he gets to like his Aghanim Scepter and his 25 talent. Like, those are huge timings for Secret if they ever get there.
I'm just worried.
Morta got her shard.
Yeah, Morta is technically infinitely scaling. Guess they just want to wait for hexes. It is one way to deal with the Morta. Just hex her up. She's not going to be able to attack.
It's also a lot of reach from the Coddle, right? When he has ult, like, you have so much cast range, so any hero you see is just going to get caught from the Hex. Jabs gets his delivered on the Courier right now, so you have the Blink Hex possibility of him. Q has his BKB now, so not as likely to just die to that Storm Spirit. We do have some good wards placed here on the bottom side of the map from Secret that are trying to keep tabs of these heroes, but we're going to see the smoke come out, so it looks like they want to try and find something here on the side of Aurora. So they're just going to go ahead and maybe bait with 23 up in the middle. Of course, fortification is available.
This could be a pretty cool timing, actually. They waited for the BKB on 23, and the Aegis is getting close to the end.
They got the Hex, the toss back, but can they kill Muerta? She gets the BKB. There's the Pierce the Veil. The damage is starting to come through. 23 is out of mana, but the Stone Gaze came out, and they get the first life. No Timber Saw is available. BKB already spent as well on your Keeper of the Light. I mean, everything's kind of gone from both teams, but you at least had the Aegis on the Medusa. Your fortification is still available. Can you hold the high ground? It looks like they might be able to.
I'm not sure how good they're feeling. There's no Pierce the Veil, and that's been a lot of the issue so far, but you're fighting 4v5 into the enemy base.
They were looking
That's
for
pretty
like
scary in its own way.
They were looking for a toss back onto the smoked Medusa there with Q, which would have been very cool, but they're not falling for it on Secret. Oh, high ground equals defended. Secret, possibly. Pulling this game back slowly but steadily. They've caught Medusa.
23.
You don't have Doom quite yet, but the reload in. Goodbye, man. That damage is absolutely overwhelming. The Medusa hits the deck. 85 seconds and without buyback. You've got to address the lanes. If Secret can get to the high ground, they might be able to get themselves some objectives, but mid is at their tier 3. And bottom, well, a big wave as well.
Time for some rat Dota on Natures, but it's pretty scary into a Storm Spirit plus an IO.
They just recalled in. They were trying to find Boom. They actually forced his BKB, and Lorinov will continue to de-push bottom, but yeah, it's the mid lane you've got to be careful of. He did get Mind... I don't know why I said Mage Slayer. I went Mindbreaker. It's the tier 4 item that Muerta loves. This item is so good. And, well, the Muerta effect, you get to your buildings, has that Gunslinger chance as well from the 20 talent. These things are going to melt. Hex from downtown, jump in from Boom. He has a Refresher at the ready, of course. They're going to try and sprout these buildings to keep themselves available. The Hex, the Storm Spirit, he gets caught from the silence, but he's okay. Pops the BKB, goes in aggressively instead. Trying to find some openings, but backdoor protection not available. They get the fortification. There's gonna be the avalanche. They get a lot of damage. Chrysalis, he turns around. It's his turn, baby. The BKB is well protected, but Jabs, he needs to run. Chrysalis stuck inside of a sprout. That's something a little bit scared about. A nice Hex. They'll be able to continue to throw in these spells here from the Nature's Prophet. Hex after Hex. How many times can they do this? Chrysalis, he's stuck here for the moment, and here comes the Medusa. Finally gets on top, and that is going to be a kill onto a massive hero. Oh my goodness. The Hexes, dude, what is that?
I guess maybe that's what they were waiting for. Timber Hex, Coddle Hex. Oh, we got to run it down, boys. I got to force this Muerta buyback because that last fight was definitely not what they wanted. Losing this set of racks. At least they didn't lose the melee one. But if they can now get this open lane in the mid, I think you'll feel kind of happy with that.
They have gotten a BKB now on the Medusa, which, I mean, we've seen this last fight. This Muerta goes in, pops Pierce the Veil. You have no option but to respond with BKB. If you don't, she will kill you. So now Medusa, even though, yes, it doesn't help her too much in terms of surviving like the damage, it at least allows her to use spells. And that is the important thing. Like, she needs to be able to cast her spells and keep herself alive.
Yeah, now with this buyback committed. Ooh, he's
quick Roche.
Wait. Crystallis has bought his refresher. I saw him with a Divine Rapier queued up, but it looks like he switched over to Lincoln's.
This like the refresher.
Yeah, refresher is really cool. You feel a little less pressure on Pierce the Veil, needing like the perfect fight. You can kind of pop it, get a kill, refresh, be ready for another one.
So, Tormentor quickly taken there as Corden will get the Electric Rave shard, as I still like to call it. The Overload active, right? A pretty cool shard. Definitely gets better as you get to your 25, but has the Parasma like we talked about. Now with the Aghanim Scepter completed as well. So, the team fight on Secret is definitely scary if they get their opening. An AoE Vortex into the follow-ups from Doom as well. Pretty scary.
Amplified damage in the top. Who's going to see it? Really good for all of these. All these heroes want that.
Roshan about to make his journey here to the top side. This is, of course, third Roche, so that means an Aghanim Scepter at the ready. Question is, who do you even give this to? It's just Coddle or Tiny. I guess you just give it to Coddle. The Will-O-Wisp is pretty solid, but Muerta's not a bad hero at dealing with it.
It's not too bad, though. If she wastes a couple shots on the Will-O-Wisp, I mean, a couple shots will literally kill a support. So you could think of it as killing the Will-O-Wisp instead of a support, which is pretty good. Especially if it's free.
He was trying to find an opening to go into the Roche pit, but good little movement from these Nature's Prophets Treants to try and block off some of this, and yeah, unable to close the gap. So Lornev will get Will-O-Wisp available, but they are looking for... Oh, what a blink dodge. Great movement from him. Dude, that's a sick play by the Lion.
I can't believe no one got that amplified damage rune.
Yeah.
Just fades away into nothing. Time to go mid? Or are they going to wait? Because they got 5 minutes on this Aegis. We sort of saw them do it last time. Maybe had a clear item timing that worked out. So I don't know if they'll do it again here, but they can make use of like 3 minutes of this Aegis just farming up before going. There is a risk there that while farming up, Team Secret finds a nice fight, pick one of you off. Let's see what they opt to do.
I think they're just waiting on 23's talents, right? He's very close to 25. Both of these are pretty huge. Whether you go the mana per shield or the damage per mana or split shot modifiers, like both of these are massive talents for a Medusa. And Lorna finished his. Like, he's 25. He's got the Illuminate damage. This is a 700 damage nuke without amp. So with all of the magic amp he's already sitting on, that is an 800 damage spell.
There's the 25. I'm just gonna go with the modifiers.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You got Daedalus and a Disperser, right? Pretty good talent. Taking a look at everything here. Any 25s? We're close to Dooms. The Mute, obviously a great talent. I don't think you care about Break, honestly, this game, so you probably go the Mute. I think most Dooms go Mute nowadays.
Ooh, okay. So Medusa's gonna get a Revenant's Brooch, which is really interesting. One, now that she has the split shot modifier talent, all of her attacks will do magic damage, but only cost 1 mana. And she can now hit Muerta.
So I think when the patch first came out, it was bugged. So your attack, like the split shot modifier, wasn't working. I don't know if it's been fixed or what the conditions were to make that the case, but We'll have to see. I know it's still going to give her the ability to hit the Muerta, which is very important.
Hopefully it works, because I think that's a big part of the reason he went this item. That'd certainly be a very unfortunate bug for them in this game.
You just like turn on Revenant's Brooch and no one's taking any damage from the Revenant's Brooch. Yeah, that'd be sad.
Yeah, it'd be quite sad.
I see an Arcane Rune here, which that's going to go onto Lorna for sure. Talk about cooldown reduction already. My goodness. 2 to 3 Will-O-Wisps off in a fight, most likely, with this thing.
That's actually crazy. All right, they're coming up together.
They're going Wind Wakers on the Coddle. So if you manage to get on top of 23, they will potentially have the Wind Waker save there, which is definitely important, as fortification is available once again here for Secret. As 23 is going to get to work. Will-O-Wisp dropped on top of her, makes it a little... Oh, Doom, careful. Yeah, he's got another one in 10 seconds here, so not too far away, as they will just uncontested take the melee barracks. It's a very hard commitment, as again, not only do you have Aegis, but he's backpacked a cheese as well.
That cheese is effectively a second Aegis for a hero like Medusa.
Yeah.
Still have 1 minute left on the actual Aegis as well.
Cordon goes in. He gets a zip. They find the Coddle. The Doom comes out. Great find from Secret. He's going to go down. Does have buyback. Boom. Stuck here inside the trees as 23 is trying to zone off the rest of the team here with this Stone Gaze. He's on the run. There's going to be the buyback from Lion, as Jabs managed to find him, but Boom will go down. Chrysalis gets aggressive here, pops to pierce the veil. They get one, but Lord of me teams me back in. Instantly dies. A dieback on the Coddle. Your Medusa's stuck. She's got a cheese, but won't get a chance to use it. A massive find for Secret. Oh boy.
That is finally it, guys. We have hit our timing. We are ready to kill people with Muerta. That is huge. No buyback on Lornoff. He is a huge part of the high ground defense. Illuminate is so hard to push into. Secret gonna try to make use of this. They're just gonna run it straight down. Probably have Storm, maybe Io help push out lanes. Looks like it's Storm right now. They're gonna force a Medusa buyback. They have found their win conditions on Secret.
That TP in from the Coddle was so aggressive, right? He thought like, oh, maybe they're not here yet, but they just have so much movement speed because of this tether that they're able to just chase down the lane. And by the time his TP finishes, there's just a Storm as well as the Lion, like ready to go, ready to find this Keeper of the Light and force that dieback. That is gonna spell disaster, as there's no fortification available, and Chrysalis will very easily take your high ground.
They're catapulting the enemy base.
He's got the Revenant's Brooch. They go in, huge zip onto 2. Can they bring down this Medusa twice? That's the question. Dude, she's just out of mana. The Doom's just too much at all. They can't get her out. That's a dieback, and they've looked for Ollie as well. Down to no HP. They've got him. Q just chased back to the base. The Muerta is doing it. He's running down, trying to cut the lanes. If you can see Jabs, he's like, guys, if we get back to our protection, just maybe we can hold off, but no. The Sprout comes through, keeping the base alive. They've got the detection. If they can take down the Nature's Prophet, it might be enough. Ollie into the fountain. He's gonna survive. Chrysalis, oh, that's the enemy fountain. Great toss in, able to survive with the BKB. They turn it around. They're both gonna die. It is Jabs versus the world. The Doom is out. He's trying to get this Muerta. Can he do it? The double chakrams have done it. But Chrysalis, he has a buyback. Puppy, he can go back to the base. That's exactly what he's gonna do. How are they holding?
I think you just run straight down with the Muerta buyback.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah, relocating her
Yeah, they
in.
reload him back in. That's what I thought they were gonna do. Yep.
Back
They're going
doors down
straight
again.
for the throne. The Hex comes out. They're trying to burst the Muerta, but a good force staff to relocate Lorna Vizani. But the damage is
Look
too
at that
much.
damage.
Can Secret keep them
Hexed
in this
again.
game? Chrysalis, he pops Pierce Veil. He can't hit the throne. Lorna almost dies, but the Will-O-Wisp will save him. Meanwhile, Timbersaw is fighting 1v1 up against the Storm Spirit, and he's gonna win. The throne's exposed. Can they close out the game? He needs a Hex. He's 1 second away, but the BKB is there. Chrysalis will win For Secret, they've done it.
Oh, the adrenaline is pumping.